Welcome to the Train Your Brain to Eat Smart event. So this hopefully is really going to help with planning your holidays. We're getting into the holiday season, and I know that all of you are very much into wellness, and this is either to help keep your wellness plan on track, or this is to help prepare you, to motivate you, to propel you into staying healthy while going through the holidays, basically. So I feel like somebody's talking. Let me mute. Colleen, can you please mute? Okay, so there are a couple steps when we are trying to learn a different habit, when we're trying to change something, when anything needs a bit of a change for the better. There's typically 3 steps that need to happen. And so this is sort of a skeletal, very, very, very basic template of what needs to happen. But first of all, there's typically a vision. And this is something that you're looking forward to, or it's a desire, it's a want for yourself. And it could be losing weight, or it could just be feeling better in general. So if you did print out the handouts, on the very back of the handouts are notes. There's a little blue box and it says notes. And right there, you can write a vision. And so this vision is, I just wrote something random down. Where would you like to be 2 years from now? But it could be even a shorter vision than that. It could be like, yes, I want to eat healthy and maintain a good diet throughout the holidays. Like that's a wonderful vision right there. And so after you've written down a vision that you would like for yourself, like I said, it could be anything around, I would like to eat more fruits and vegetables during the holiday. I would like to avoid all junk food and processed food during the holiday season. Anything like that could be your vision. And then you go into a plan. And the plan is really where you're starting as of right now. And it's kind of like these small steps that you take to get exactly where you are right here and now to that vision. So how would you like to get there? Where do you start? So that's a lot of the bulk of what we're going to be talking about in this event, is just planning and strategies and tips and tools to help support your vision. Speaking of support, that's ways that you feel connected to your cause. It's just feeling connected in general. Oftentimes in health coaching sessions, I will ask you, do you have support in this area? And that can be a spouse, that could be friends and family, that support can be anybody that's willing to just help you along the way. And so that could be, well, for instance, Morris Health. The Morris Health team is your support, absolutely. We are all here to help you, and we are here for you. And so at least you know right there that you have support, and that's us, that's our team. But it's also nice to have additional support as well, somebody that you feel close to about talking about your vision with and your plan with. Okay, so let's get into this. Train your brain to focus on what you want. Yes, so we kind of know what we want. We wrote it down. If you need to take some more time to figure that out, that's fine. Just take your time with your vision. But what we really, really want to do is we want to make sure that when we're training our brain for change, that we're not reacting to every emotional thought, every feeling that just pops up into our minds, because that's a lot to handle. So the best thing to do is get grounded. The best way to get grounded is breathing. So if you don't mind doing this exercise with me right now, go ahead and put your feet on the floor if you can. Sit up nice and tall. And then find a relaxing place for your hands. I'm going to put my hands right on my lap. And what I'm going to do is, if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to take a nice big deep breath in through your nose. And then out through your mouth with pursed lips. It's kind of like you're breathing out of a straw. Breathe in through your nose. This time, expand your belly as much as you can. Breathing in and breathing out. Contract belly. Go ahead and put your hands on your belly. Breathe in through the nose.
So I guess I'm just doing without seeing it.
And then,
See it.
go ahead and breathe out. Contract
Oh,
your
maybe
belly.
FaceTime. But this is Zoom though, not FaceTime.
Okay, please mute yourself. That would be great. Okay, so now we're just going to very gently just roll the head in one direction. Roll the head in the other direction. Roll the shoulders back. And then lift up one knee and put your leg down. Lift up the other leg and put that leg down. And then scrunch up your toes and feel your feet on the floor. One more nice big deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So those are grounding breaths. You can go ahead and open your eyes and kind of wake up a little bit. So from here, you're primed and you're ready to start visualizing what exactly your goal or your vision looks like. So you can visualize, say your goal is, let's make a general goal. Let's say the general goal is to eat really healthy, well, as healthy as possible throughout the holidays. We're not gonna do anything of excess sugar or excess processed food. So eating healthy through the holidays. So then you visualize yourself buying fresh foods. You can visualize yourself, if you know that you're going to a party, you can visualize yourself saying, no, thank you. I'm okay, I don't need that chocolate cake. You can visualize yourself putting a bunch of beautiful fruits and vegetables on your plate. You can visualize yourself eating a nice piece of decadent dark chocolate and feeling really good with that. You can visualize yourself connecting with friends, connecting with family, having fun, laughing, because those are the true pleasures in this life. It's not always geared towards food. So that's one way that you can prime yourself if you know you're going to be in a situation where there's gray lines on how you're going to make healthy decisions. And then from there, and we're going to talk about this later, is that you just ask yourself questions. You check into your body, you give yourself space. And this is really the groundwork to train your brain for what you want. So here are some questions that need to be asked. When you have a vision, the next step is action. What actions can you do to support your vision? So oftentimes in a health coaching session, I'll ask you, well, what's your action step? What would you like your next action step to be? And that immediately propels you into thinking, oh yes, now we're in doing mode. Now we're engaging mode. Now we're going to do something. We're not just visualizing it in our heads anymore. We have to go do it. If you're in the grocery store and you find yourself reaching for things or struggling with what do I buy in my cart, you can always ask yourself, if I make this choice, does it support my body in a healthy way? will this be healthy for my body? What better choice can I make at this moment? And that's really good. I love the what better choice I can make at this moment if I'm in a restaurant, because there's such a variety of food. There's so many choices to choose from, and it's so easy for our habitual brain to take over and to say, oh, well, you love the big plate of spaghetti with the garlic bread. Yes, I do. But is that the best choice that I can make at this moment? Probably not. There's probably a better choice that's going to support my goal. So taking a step and checking in with yourself and asking yourself these questions is vital to the process of training your brain for healthier choices. Okay. Okay. We got tips. Train your brain at tip 1, immediate gratification. Okay, I love this tip. So if any of you have gotten any body work done from me, I always say that I love body work because it provides immediate gratification. So when I'm working on tight muscles, those muscles will immediately start to loosen. People start to feel better. They become immediately out of or less in pain than they were before, and it's instantaneous. And I always said to myself, well, I really wish that diet and exercise would work the same way. Just this immediate gratification that will propel momentum for you to keep on going with that. So I'm super excited to find a couple of articles that talk about food and nutrition and immediate gratification. For instance, every 100-gram increased intake of fruit was associated with 3% reduced risk of depression. So this is perfect. So this study showed people that even if they were already kind of in a low mood, eating fruit can uplift them. So it's not, and so if you're even in an okay mood, eating fruit can uplift you. So it doesn't really matter the situation. Eating fruit is uplifting. And what's great is, like, take an orange, for example. First of all, just looking at an orange is bright, vibrant orange color. And then if you peel the orange and there's this amazing aroma and scent that you can just be with for a moment, it's very vibrant and uplifting. And then eating an orange is perfect. You get the fiber, you get the tartness, you get the sweetness, you get the water. So you're getting a lot in there. And that's just from eating one piece of fruit. So I'm really happy to put healthy eating in the immediate gratification category. One meal that has a lot of fiber in it, well, we know that the GI tract produces 95% of the chemical serotonin. And we know that serotonin is a feel-good chemical. And so when we eat a lot of fiber in our diet, when we eat beans in our diet, that fiber is actually food for the microbiome to start producing better chemicals in the GI tract, such as serotonin. So within one high fiber meal, you are feeding the groundwork. You're providing the groundwork and the feeding area for really good microbiome, or the really good microbes in your GI tract. So I know that that's not as immediate, but it's working on a cellular level. It's working on a chemical level. And so we can start seeing the repercussions of this within a couple weeks. So, so the immediate gratification is just knowing, taking that moment and savoring the choices that you're making. Like, yeah, this is good. I can do this. I'm making healthy choices and it feels good, and it feels good in that moment too. So let's make immediate gratification something that that we can also look at with our diet. Okay, train your brain. Tip 2, that's rewiring our thoughts. Okay, how do we do that? What do we do by rewiring our thoughts? Well, the first one is even just looking at pictures of healthy food starts planting seeds in our minds. So even though you might not go home and make this, what do we have here? It's tofu, quinoa, roasted vegetable, Buddha dish. Even though that's something that we might not go home and make, it kind of, there's this thought in our head like, oh, well, we can put some extra broccoli in our dish. Or, oh, I haven't made quinoa in a while. I think I'll go ahead and make some. Or let's add a little extra lettuce to whatever dish that, you know, just toss some lettuce on top of a dish that we're making. And so it really does get, you get inspiration. So go ahead and buy a plant-based magazine. I'm pretty sure they're in all grocery stores, at least the Forks Over Knives magazines are. Browse through there, get some tips through there. So the opposite is true too. You can do something called like food association. And you can look at this as far as junk food goes, or food that you know that you shouldn't eat or is not very good for you. So it's very easy to look at pork ribs with barbecue sauce, for instance, and be like, nope, that's gonna give me heartburn for sure. So some stuff is obvious, but other things are not so obvious. But you know in your mind, you know in your head, like, I don't know if I should do that. So you start associating the bad results that food is going to give you if you eat that food. So like French fries, people like French fries. They're, you know, they're crispy, they're very convenient to eat. But then you can be like, wow, you know what? That's just a lot of calories, or that's just too much salt. And when I eat too much salt, that means that I want something sweet. And then it just kind of propels me into this really unhealthy eating pattern. So when you can associate foods that you know you shouldn't eat with unhealthy side effects, that's huge. That really does help a lot. I do that often, very much often. And so, and then the third thing, again, we're going to go into the check-in with your body. Pause and reflect. Just check in with yourself. And it could be before a meal. It could even be during a meal. So one of the things that I'm working on right now is pausing during my meal and checking in. How hungry am I? Am I feeling more satiated? Do I need to eat everything on my plate? Or if I wait a couple minutes, will I be full? Because, you know, some people have different, some people can eat till they're 80% full and they're good. Some people say, oh, I'm comfortable. They stop when they're comfortable. They don't even stop when they're full. So you want to check in with yourself even during eating. Like, okay, at first this dish was really good and I want to keep on eating it because it's so good, but I know I have this feeling that I'm done. I feel comfortable and I know I should stop. So it's even that reflection or bringing awareness to that is pivotal. Is pivotal for rewiring your thoughts and how you eat, not just what you eat, but how you eat. Okay. So let's go back to food association because I feel that this is really powerful. Self-talk is really powerful. So food association with healthy foods. So what do we think of when we think of healthy foods? Well, it cleanses the palate. This is really important when you're trying to eat healthier foods coming off of a diet that is more processed. Processed foods are hyper palatable. Too much salt, too much additives, too much chemicals to them, it assaults the taste buds and it numbs the taste buds. So when you eat a French fry or when you eat a cookie or a bite of a hamburger, anything of the sort, and then you eat a piece of healthier food, a carrot, take a bite of a salad with healthy salad dressing, it seems dull. It doesn't taste very good because you just went from something that was hyper palatable and it's very unnatural to make it that way. And so the commercial food industry makes it that way, so you want to keep on eating. So healthy food, it cleanses the palate. So at first it might seem a little odd if you're coming off of that processed food diet into a healthy diet. So you might have to think of other things too, like weight loss. Healthy foods, whole plant-based foods, are very low in calories for the most part. So you can eat much more of it without having the high calorie intake. Promotes healing. Whole-based plant-based foods, vitamins, minerals, lowers inflammation, provides a lot of fiber. I mean, the list goes on. This nourishes your body. And then it can also re-energize your body too, because it is providing you with the nourishment, the proper nourishment that you need. So these are the things that you kind of have to play in your head when you start to make healthy food choices. So it's not like, oh man, I know I need to eat this, but it's going to taste like cardboard. You know, it could be like, well, my palate is not there yet. This is still good for me. I know it's going to nourish my body and I'm going to feel good afterwards. So it's something that you can talk yourself into. If you can't do it for you, do it for others. I see this a lot. It's always nice to have a friend or to have a buddy that's really, we always want to help other people, right? So sometimes you'll see somebody, or you want to make a healthy dish for your grandkids, or a friend is not doing too well and you say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to make them this vegetable soup. So make enough to where you can have vegetable soup, and then you can take over some vegetable soup for them. Make healthy food for social functions. Now, I know that this seems counterintuitive. I was at a social function not too long ago, and there was a lot of processed foods there. Some of it was homemade, but it still wasn't healthy. Lots of cheeses, lots of oils, lots of pastries, and somebody brought vegetarian soup. And everybody at this function was like, oh, a healthy choice. I'm so excited. And everybody just went for the vegetarian soup because they were looking for that healthier choice. And maybe they didn't even know they were looking for that healthier choice, but they just seemed attracted to it. So you can be that person that inspires other people to be healthier. It's better for the environment. When you start purchasing local vegetation, local vegetables and fruits, it's a lower carbon footprint. It absolutely helps the earth. In fact, when you buy vegetables in general, it doesn't even have to be local. It's still better than what the cattle industry does with the factory commercial farming. So it goes down the line. You're helping your body, you're helping inspire other people around you, and you are helping the environment. So it expands. You're causing a ripple effect. Okay, so this is food association, sort of the opposite. It's called food aversion. And so it's when you place negative results, when you can be aware of the negative results from the junk food that maybe you like, say you love chips. There's nothing wrong with a few chips, but typically chips are one of those highly addictive foods where it's easy to eat a lot of. And so then again, you have to do the self-talk, you associate. So it's like, okay, well, first of all, it depends on the chip, but oftentimes it's very assaulting to the taste buds. We talked about highly processed foods, it numbs the palate. And then it becomes more difficult to eat healthier foods. They're high in calories, so that can increase weight gain. It produces unwanted inflammation because usually any type of junk food is processed and deep fried or has some type of commercial oil that's very inflammatory. And it's also quite heavy. There's not a lightness to a hamburger. There's not a lightness to, so they can be light and airy, but there's like a chip or something, but it's not the same thing as a cucumber, right? You just know, you instinctively know the difference. So it causes a lot of fatigue in the body. There's a heaviness to it. So when you can be aware and you can take a step back and you can look at it, be like, if I eat that, even if I don't get acid reflux from it or something painful doesn't happen like a stomach ache, you intuitively know that that's going to create some type of inflammation or heaviness in the body and that it's going to cause unwanted results. Okay, so that's called food aversion. It is studied. This is evidence-based. So don't take my word for it. Read the handouts. There's some beautiful articles in there, and you can even go onto Dr. Greger's work. And this is actually a takeoff from The Secret Sauce to Weight Loss, where I showed that Dr. Greger video on there. The full extended video talks about food aversion. So it's worth checking back that video and seeing what he's talking about there, just in case you need that extra scientific evidence-based support. Train your brain, tip number 3. Change your food environment. When, right now, as we speak, some of us are on the 30-day sugar-free challenge. And so if you're out there and you're doing the sugar-free challenge, kudos to you, stick with it, you're doing amazing. So the first thing that I ask people to do is get all of the sweet food out of the house. You don't need to see it. You don't need to be around it. We are sort of conditioned for convenience, and it is so convenient to open up the pantry and just grab something sweet, rip that package open and just start going to town. So if you change your food environment to where that processed food is out of the house and there's conveniently a bowl of apples sitting right there by the pantry, well, just grab that apple. Talk about ultimate fast food. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and this person was arguing why fast food had to be unhealthy. This person made an argument that an apple is your ultimate fast food. You literally grab it and you can eat it. I personally rinse my apples, but so it's that convenient to just grab a piece of fruit, peel an orange, peel a banana, grab a few grapes from the fridge, a handful of blueberries, and have that be very satisfying versus opening up a granola bar and eating that. And then there's still something there that's either too sweet, so you need to go to salty, or it just wasn't satisfying enough. It didn't have the water content in there. So then you kind of start searching for other things. And so making the healthy food way more convenient is huge. It's a game changer when we start eating healthier food. Get the junk food out of the house. Okay, it's not convenient at all to drive to the store to buy a bag of chips, right? Okay, so how do we make healthy food more convenient? I mean, we're just not going to sit there and grab apples all day, right? So we need a plan. And Colleen and I have been working on creating a plan for you, and that's to train your brain to eat smart. Okay, so this is a 5-day plant-based meal plan, and It's in the handout. So if you printed the handout, there's also the 5-day meal plan, which you can print out. And it really just kind of takes you through 5 days of simple, healthy eating. One of the big takeaways is when you do put in the effort to make a healthy meal, double the batch, stick it in the freezer, portion it out to where you can just, pop out a bag or a container from the freezer. You can stick it in the microwave and you have yourself a very convenient, very healthy meal. So the freezer is your friend and meal planning is your best friend. This is really the way to go. So set yourself up for success. Look through the meal plan that Colleen and I provided for you. And one of the best tips is when you're changing to a plant-based diet or a more plant-based diet, you want to do what you already know. That means that say you're not too keen on eating tons of vegetables, you're not going to eat tofu. Making a salad sounds a little daunting, but you really like green beans. Okay, you know how to make green beans. You can make them several ways. So you start with what you know. You can start with some brown rice and some green beans, and then if you want to, you can have like a grilled chicken breast. That can, if you double that batch, that can last you a few days. Portion it out, stick it in the fridge. And that way the next day, when say you don't feel like making a meal, that's perfectly fine. You already have something in the fridge that's ready to go. So that's a really wonderful way to do something that you know, and then you try to find ways to make it work for you. Make it a little bit more healthier for you. So here, there's this example of chopped lettuce. You've got the shredded carrots, you've got the shredded cabbage. That way you maybe only have to chop up some bell peppers or some tomatoes or something else that you want in your salad. Maybe you can even open up a can of beans here. You toss that all in together, portion it out. You have yourself a meal for a few days. And it took very, very little time. So if you can mentally, or if you can plan that out and mentally look at your vision. My vision is to start eating well throughout the holidays, and I'm going to start now because the holidays come up quick. How can I make easy salads? What action step do I need to do? Let's look at some of the pre-chopped salads and have it work for me. Okay, I know that I like broccoli. All right, so let me figure out ways that I can roast broccoli or what dishes go really well with broccoli. So that way you can make more broccoli dishes and start increasing your vegetable intake. So that's how you start up setting yourself up for success. You're planning ahead. That way when November comes and it's cold, you don't want to go to the store. What's in the house? Oh, I have this leftover vegetarian chili soup that I made a while back. I'm just going to pop that out of the freezer. Perfect. So go ahead and look through that meal planner. And this is, I put this picture here because I feel that this is very prevalent to what a lot of us go through as far as our frame of mind when we eat healthier food. So this is what my fridge looks like right here. So when I open my fridge, I'm like, okay, I have ingredients, but I don't have food. So I've got a bag of carrots, I got a bag of celery, I got this, I got that. And sometimes it takes me a minute to be like, how can I make a meal out of this? Often what helps out tremendously is just prepping that food, prepping alone. If you go to the grocery store and just prep. So you have sliced carrots, you have sliced bell peppers, onions, broccoli, whatever. I buy my broccoli pre-chopped. It's just, that's how I know that broccoli is gonna get on the table. It's already pre-chopped. So you can find little tools and tricks to help yourself out. So if something's already prepped, it's much, much easier to look at that and come up with a meal plan at that point. For instance, that right there looks like roasted. That looks like roasted vegetables on a sheet pan to me. The bell peppers, the onions, and the broccoli, maybe even the tomatoes. So at that point, all you need is maybe some quinoa, some brown rice, and a protein. And so you can portion that out. Sometimes if I know I'm going to be really busy, all of that goes into a crock pot and I make myself a soup. So that's a really good way to turn bagged produce into an actual healthy meal at the end of the day or at the end of a couple days. And it's very, very rewarding to have that happen and to see that process. So if you are coming home from errands or just had a busy day and you look through your fridge and you see, okay, well, I have sliced bell peppers, I have some carrot sticks, I'm not really hungry, I just need a little snack to get me through. If you have some hummus to go with that, you have yourself a beautiful, crunchy, healthy, light, nutritious snack. So it's really just getting into the mind frame of that. So that's why the tip was to continuously look at healthy foods through magazines or through the internet or on your phone, because it really gets the juices flowing, the creative juices flowing of what you can do for yourself and what works for you in the time that you have. It doesn't necessarily need to be super time consuming. Okay, so with all that being said, all of those tips, all of those strategies being said, this idea of the present moment is probably one of the more important aspects for healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. It's easy to write off. It's easy just to kind of go through the motions, even if you're eating well. So how to become present, how to check in when it's so easy to check out. In case you're wondering, that is a brain, and the brain is trying to tell that little boy to eat his fruits and vegetables and not go for the cookie. So it's not a puffball. I thought it was some sort of puffball. Anyway, the best way, one of the best ways to bring awareness and to become in the present moment is a 2-minute technique. When I heard 2 minutes, the first thing that came to my mind was, that's too long. I'm not going to stand anywhere for 2 minutes and be present. So it's powerful. So I say up to 2 minutes, anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Stand and look around you. You can observe everything that's going on around you, the foods in front of you, your environment, the atmosphere. Is there music playing? Are there people around you? Are they generally in a good mood? Is it dark? Is it light outside? Are you hot? Are you cold? You're just observing what's around you, just taking some time, some peacefulness to breathe, not to judge anything that you're seeing. Nothing's good, nothing's bad, nothing's better, nothing's worse. It just is. And Colleen is the one that actually made me aware of this 2-minute technique. And like I said, I was intrigued by the idea, so I went home and I got about 30 seconds out of it. And it was very powerful. And so that's why we're sharing this with you today. This feeling of just relaxing into the moment, observing in a non-judgmental way. And that means that, again, it's not good, it's not bad, it's not neutral. There's nothing preferred over anything else. It simply just is. And to be in that space is very enlightening. So I encourage all of you to do that. If you have some more time, you can take this observation to the next level. And that would be to get curious about your observations that you're making. We're still doing it in a very non-judgmental way. You're not labeling good, bad, awful, anything of the sort. It's just interesting. So, and then you can ask questions about it. Like, oh, this popped up in my head and I'm not used to that feeling. What is that feeling about? And to take some time to notice it and to get curious about it leads to a very intimate and healing conversation with yourself, which is quite the opposite of our social culture today, which is very distracting. Let's eat while we're playing on our phone. Let's eat while we're reading a book or watching TV. Or even if you're eating with other people, you can still take some time to just breathe and to notice and to give yourself some space. So getting curious is a very interesting concept. And a lot of what happens around getting curious are 3 concepts, actually. It's a question. What does food do for you? So once you start observing your thoughts and becoming more aware and getting curious, and since we're focusing more on food, there are typically 3 main things that happen around the concept of eating. And that is 1 is feeding, 2 is freezing, and 3 is fleeing. So let's talk about number 1, feeding. Eating to nourish your body. It's very intuitive. You're present with what you're doing. So not only are you nourishing your body with healthy foods, but you might also be nourishing yourself by just being present. A good indicator that you're eating nourishing foods is that your body will start to feel energized from that food. Oftentimes, if we eat too much, or if we eat the wrong foods, we can feel fatigued, tired, weighed down, heavy. So what you're looking for is more that food nourished me to the point where I feel energized. It gave me enough fuel to continue with my day versus, oh man, I had too much, now I need to take a nap. So feeding yourself is nourishing the body and feeling energized. Number two is freezing. And this concept of eating being called freezing is sort of not paying attention at all to what you're eating. I don't remember what I ate. I don't know what I had for breakfast. I really don't know how much I had. I was watching TV while I was eating and I just don't remember. Or I don't know how that made me feel. I don't know why I had a headache or if it had anything to do with the food that I was eating. So that's just a general disconnection to your feelings, your thoughts, and what you're putting in your body, because they are greatly, greatly connected to each other. And that's in the handout. Let's see, let me look at the handout here. That is the Nutritional Psychiatry, Your Brain on Food. So I encourage you to read that article. It's very interesting. And then there's number 3, and that's fleeing. And that is, you know what you're doing and you're overriding your senses. I'm eating because I'm angry, I'm frustrated. I know that I'm overeating and I don't care. I know I'm eating, I'm trying to distract myself because I don't want to deal with something. So that is more conscious, but you're overriding your innate wisdom anyway. So those are some of the food concepts that will come up when you start to become more aware of how you're eating, of what you're eating, and getting curious and giving yourself that space to be present with it. All right, so if you've been with me on many educational events, then you will know that there's many different types of hunger. So here we have emotional hunger versus physical hunger, and they're very, very different from each other. Emotional hunger starts suddenly. It's like, oh, I gotta have that, whatever it is. And it could even be healthier dish, like, oh, it can't be emotional hungry because it's a healthy dish. Well, if it starts on suddenly and it's in your head and you're not checking in with your body, and your body is actually saying, no, actually, I'm not hungry. My stomach is not growling. I'm all right. I feel pretty good. It could still be some of the emotional hunger that you're feeling. So that's why checking in is really good. You know, maybe you're searching for something, a specific taste or a specific texture, or you're trying to satisfy something else that's happening in your life through food. So that is something that that you got to keep an eye out for. Physical hunger starts gradually. You'll feel it in your stomach. It'll come in waves. You are open to lots of different options, like, oh yeah, I'm hungry, I can definitely eat that, and I could eat that. And then it's very easy to satisfy with a proper portion. So portions are typically, in this culture, we oversize our portions. So you can actually be quite satisfied with a smaller portion if it's true physical hunger. And then it doesn't feel, you won't feel bad about yourself afterwards. It was like, yeah, I'm good, I'm satisfied, I'm ready to go and move on with my day. That's physical hunger. So you kind of want to keep those, check in with yourself and see where you're at on that level. Okay, so I know that it's coming to the 4:30 mark. Let's talk about motivation. Yeah, the reasons for acting, reasons for taking action, right? So we have a vision and we know we need to take action. We might even have our action steps, okay? But what's gonna propel us to start doing these action steps despite challenges, right? What about the roadblocks? Can we move through those roadblocks? Well, if we have proper motivation and we're supported and we have a good action plan, then yeah, we can move through those challenges. All right, so know your why. Why? It's a question. Why do you want to do this? What's in it for you? Okay, so this is a part of the vision. Why do you want that vision for yourself? So this is deeply personal for every individual, but oftentimes it really comes down to wanting to feel really good about yourself, wanting to to be the best you can be in the body that you have, where you are right here, right now, and how to make that a little bit better. And so I talk a lot about visualization. This picture, How to Motivate Yourself, talks about visualizing the end result. That's nice. That's nice when you need an extra boost. But if you're in a challenge and you're coming up into some roadblocks and you're just kind of bumping up against resistance, the best thing to do at that point in time is to visualize your next action step. So your vision is to come out of the holidays 5 pounds lighter with eating more on a plant-based diet. Okay. So it's November, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and you're just like, oh, you're going to this event or that event and there's food, and you're just like, man, I just can't seem to get over this hurdle. I feel like I'm just eating too much or whatever it is. You visualize your next action step. Okay, I'm going to the grocery store. I have my meal plan. I'm going to visualize getting every ingredient for my meal plan and not diverting. I'm not going to grab an extra little bit of that, or, oh, look, it's the holiday spice pumpkin season and I have to try that new pumpkin whatever product it is. So you're visualizing yourself sticking to the plan and not grabbing those extra stuff to put in your cart that you're probably going to regret later. So that's what the vision is. And if you can keep that vision, then you've kind of you're overcoming that roadblock. Now, if it's persistent, then just come in and have a health coaching session with me. Sometimes you just need to hash it out. So that's why I'm here. So I'll be like, oh, I keep on running into this roadblock. I don't really know how to get over it. So make an appointment with me and we'll brainstorm, we'll work around it, we'll get through this. So that's why I'm here. Okay. And then the meditation daily, that's the checking in with yourself. How am I feeling today? How the 2-minute self-awareness, just observe what's going on around you. So that's giving space for yourself, and it's enormously powerful when you put it into play. And then check in, celebrate where you've done well. Notice what you've done well, because you did it. You overcame that challenge, or you visualized something, and then when that challenge arose, you were able to overcome it. That's something that needs to be celebrated, because that's what's going to keep you motivated. Absolutely. So this wraps up the event, and I really hope that you had a wonderful time with me here. And I also want to just let everybody know I am setting up a group coaching program. It's a 3-month program where we meet twice a month.